Welcome back, listeners, to the Blackv Show podcast here on all of your favorite streaming platforms for podcasts. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I'm your host, Felix Black. And what is this podcast about? It is about me, single man out here dating, and I go through and give you some stories, some of my thoughts on how dating should be and dating from my perspective. Right. I understand and know everyone is not going to agree with how I feel about dating, but there are a number of people that do. And so this is the podcast for you. And this is the podcast if you have doubts, if you don't understand quite what, high value men are talking about. Again, I know people are starting to attack that term high value. It's not a term that I made up. It's from the internet. Okay. What are we talking about when we talk about high value man? Let's talk about that. We're talking about a man with a job, no kids, makes over 100K, has all his own. Okay. That's basically what it comes down to. And we have a high level of emotional intelligence, but also we come with rules. We come with discipline. If you don't already know, if you have never been on the stream before or on the podcast before, I am a traditional guy. I understand people are going 50-50, and I'm a guy who's more or less paying the bills in the home. However, it's not a free ride. There are things that I require as a man in the home, and that's what I talk about here on this podcast, okay? Make sure if you're not following the podcast, you do so. Full video can be found on YouTube. What I want to talk about today, a man doesn't bring out femininity in a woman. This is something I hear a lot. I watch a lot of dating shows. I'm on dating apps. I talk to people in person. I get to know women. I like talking to women. They're very interesting, to say the least. Okay. So this is something I'm starting to hear a lot. And when I start to hear things a lot, one, I'm starting to think that it's groupthink. People are just saying what someone else says because it sounds good, and they don't really think through what's being said. That's just my opinion. Okay. So when I start to see dating shows and not the same woman, but women are saying the same thing, is it a little bit of it's a commonality and that might be what the issue is? Possibly, right? I agree. And I'm not just here to talk to women. I talk to the men too out there so we can improve ourselves as leaders, as providers. So when women say, men aren't providing, men aren't leading like they used to, I can agree with that. All right. And so I side with the women on that topic. But there are some things like this topic that I'm talking about today that I just don't agree with. I do not believe that it's true. And so I believe women are using this as a cop out. Okay, let's get into it. Femininity in a woman. What is it to me? I like girly girls, right? So my definition of femininity is a person who is loving, caring, supportive, very nurturing in the home. Okay. She likes family. She likes taking care of family. She may be into traditional roles, taking care of the house, taking care of the family. I'm not saying she doesn't work, but her work is second in her life. What's most important to her is taking care of her family, her man, and her kids. I like women who like to go to the salon and get their hair done. I like women that like to get their nails done, like to get their toes done. They're trying to drag me to spa treatments, to get massages and stuff like that. I like that. I like an emotional woman who's crying. I don't want to say that in a bad way, but who cries easily because I know that she's soft, right? She's not trying to play tough. She's not trying to be a guy. She's soft, right? And so women are sensitive. Women are soft creatures that should be handled as such. It's my belief. So naturally, if you're a woman to me, that is something that you should know. I've talked about it before. When are women taught how to take care of a man and not only taught that they don't need one, right? We hear that a lot. Oh, I'm raising my daughter so she doesn't need a man. I've never heard a mother or a father raising their son so they don't need a woman. They're raising their son to take care of a woman, rightfully so. That's how I would raise my son. So femininity is innate. It's within you as a female, as a woman, as a girl, as a chica. So it is innate in you. It should not take someone else to bring that out of you. Why does it take that? I understand if you are not able to be a woman at all times or able to be feminine at all times. You have to play different roles. Single parents have to be mom and dad. Y'all have to be tough so you don't get taken advantage of. I understand all of that. I understand it. But to say you need a man to bring it out, a man should bring it out automatically, and it should automatically be there. You should just be waiting. You shouldn't even be waiting. You should already be feminine when you start to talk to a guy, right? So if we meet and we plan a date, how long before I bring out your femininity? How many dates do we have to go on? I have to prove to you that I'm a man, that I'm an upstanding guy. And I always say this whole notion of I don't know you, I have to get to know you. You will never fully know somebody. You will only know what they want you to know. That is the truth of it. We hear stories all the time about people who've been together for 30, 40, 50 years, and their partner does something that they've never done before, that they didn't know, that they've never heard of, right? So to say that, I don't know you, so I have to get to know you in order to be feminine. With me, you're not going to get that opportunity. Either you come to the table feminine and ready to go, or I'm not going to prove anything to you. Why do I say that? I've never lied to you, never cheated on you. So why am I proving to you that I don't cheat? Why am I proving to you that I don't lie when I've never done it to you, right? So I have to prove myself to you in order for you to be a woman. How do I have to prove myself to you, right? By being a man, by being masculine. So the thought process there is I come to the table as a man, chivalrous, opening doors, making sure that you're protected, making sure that you're safe, in order for you to then dial it back and be a woman. No, that's not how this works. That's not how it's going to work with me. And I know a few people, I don't want to say a lot of people, I know a few people that believe that same thing. Once you make that choice I want to go on a date with Felix, I'm interested in him, I want to get to know him, femininity should be turned on if it's not already on. The fact that it's not already on to me is scary, right? That is not already on. Now, if you have to become masculine in a certain situation, I understand that. But to turn it on, as women say, and leave it on, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that is something that women should be doing and should be okay with doing. So it should not be a requirement for me to be a man in order for you to be a woman. It is not a requirement for you to be a woman in order for me to be a man. I present as such. I'm going to act as such. I'm going to act accordingly at all times, right? At all times. There is no, you have to prove to me that you're a woman in order for me to be a man. The same goes for both. Like, we need to stop trying to put the lever in one side. Women need men, men need women. That's how we connect. That's how we get together. That's how the world creates. Okay. So we need to stop trying to one up or put ourselves in a position as, you're claiming me, I'm the prize here. We're both prizes to each other if we are single and we find what we're looking for. All right. I'm looking for a feminine, nurturing, and loving woman. She's looking for a strong, dependable man that can lead. We are beneficial to each other. There is no leg up. You're not any less worthy than I am because you're not the leader. Leaders have teams. We take input. We're down there in the trenches sometimes getting that perspective, because sometimes we can lose perspective on what, those that we lead are actually doing. But a proper leader does not make decisions in a vacuum. They do not make decisions all by themselves, especially if it affects others, right? So this notion that I need to prove to you that I'm a good leader. How? How? Because as soon as I make the wrong decision, you're going to say, oh, he's not a good leader. I couldn't follow him. So you're not going to find a perfect leader out there. That's just how it happens. But back to the femininity piece. I don't believe that a man can bring out your femininity. I think it's either there and it exists or it doesn't. If you have to, I'm going to say this again, if you have to be less than feminine in any certain situation, okay, I understand that. You turn it on, you turn it off like a light switch. But to walk around being masculine, because if you're not feminine, you're masculine, to walk around being that way and think that some dude is going to fight with you in order to get you to be the woman he wants you to be, that's false. And that's how relationships don't last. I shouldn't have to change you. That's why I say come to the table with your femininity ready to go. The same way I have my masculinity ready to go. And you can evaluate that as such. I'm going to be who I am. If you get into a relationship with me, this is who I'm going to be. There is no secret. I'm not holding anything back. I'm not putting on a show. I'm not putting on a facade. This is who I am. And so that gives you the ability to fully evaluate my character, my personality, and to see if that's what you want to be a part of, if that's what you want in your life. Why do I have to then wait for weeks, months, days, years, however long it is to turn on your femininity for me to show, for you to show me who you are and what I'm getting in the relationship? I'm sorry to tell you, men are now, and I think we've always been looking to see how you as a woman benefits us. I know women don't like the what do you bring to the table question. It's a valid question. What do you bring to this relationship? Because you simply existing and being a woman, that's not enough. We want more. So the same way you want more as a woman, you want a leader, a provider, you want someone who's going to pay the bills and do all of this stuff for you, chivalry. Okay. So we want to know what you're bringing to us. And so for you to get offended by that question is offensive to us. 100%. That's just being true. It's offensive to us. That means you can't answer the question. You don't know the answer to the question. And that's something you need to think about. And for the men, if you don't know the answer to that question, how you can provide what you bring to the table for a woman, you need to stop dating and go self-reflect. When we come out as men to this dating scene, when we come to the table with a woman, we need to be ready to go. We need to be ready to be the person that we are so she can then evaluate who we are. We forget that we're animals. Humans are animals. So if you watched National Geographic before, you've seen in certain instances, animals present themselves to the opposite sex for mating purposes, right? I can build a nest. I have great feathers for DNA and for reproducing, all of that stuff, right? So they come as they are. They don't prove anything later. They're proving it right then and there in front of them. This is what you're getting. And so that's the way I carry it. That's the way men should carry it. When we come to the table, boom, this is who we are. I'm not holding on to anything back. I don't mind opening doors. That's the way it's supposed to be. Open doors, pay for the bill. But I'm not going to be showing you I can open doors and pay bills, pay for dinner. If you don't have anything to offer me because you're not feminine, you can't be supportive. Because you're not feminine, you can't be loving. You can't nurture a family. Because you're not feminine, you can't support me. Yes, I am strong. I am dependable. I am a rock. And I'm also human. So I look to my yin, my yang, my woman to give me that comfort and support. I failed as a man in something that I wanted to do, something I was trying to do to benefit us. It is not okay for a woman then to pile on and make a man feel worse for doing that. I made a mistake trying to improve our lives, mainly trying to improve your life, our family's life. So then that's when I need that it's going to be okay. We are going to make it through because I know I have that support system with me the same way 9 times out of 10, you have that support system. Damn it, I wasn't perfect. I messed up one time. I messed up twice. It's okay. But we need that femininity. And it should come to the table when we say hello. It shouldn't come 6 months down the line because 6 months down the line, I might not be interested anymore. And it's one of those things, well, you weren't looking for commitment. No, I was looking for commitment. You just weren't ready yet because you had walls up. You had things that you had to deal with. So I'm supposed to wait around? Am I supposed to wait around until you finish dealing with your issues? That's not fair to me because I'm ready to go. Looking for a relationship and wanting to be in a relationship is, if I find what I'm looking for, all systems go. That's just what it is. It's not, I'm going to wait as long as you want me to wait. No, men, we should not be doing that. We should not be doing that. We are the lead. We should be taking the lead. We should be directing this relationship, which way it's going to go. You give her those options. This is how it's going to go. This is what I'm looking towards in this relationship. Does this work for you? And then you have an option. Yes, it works. No, it doesn't work. That's communication, right? But this idea of femininity being hidden or it being not present because there's not a man present is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. I'm masculine yesterday, masculine today, masculine tomorrow. There's never a time where I have to turn on my femininity. Maybe it's different for women. I'm not a woman, so I'm speaking from a man's perspective. But I know damn well we don't want another man walking into our lives. We are high value men looking for high value women, women that we deem high value in the dating scene. And so as people don't check your boxes, their value goes down to where now you don't have any value. And that's men and women, right? If you find someone, if you find a man, if you find a woman who checks all your blocks, that's high value. That's all that means. Why are we still arguing with this word mean, what this phrase means? As you get to know someone, your interest level drops. They have no value to you. As you get to know someone and your interest level increases, you like what you hear, you like what they're about, their value goes up to you. That's it. So yes, there is a general term of high value man, high value woman. But everyone's values are different. And every part of us, when we're dating, is valuable to another person, whether it's because you don't have something or because you do have something. If I lived at home with my mom in her basement, how much value do I have as a man, right? Because from there, you believe that I can't provide, I can't take care of myself. So how can I take care of a family? If I can't take care of myself, how can I lead you? How can I be the head of a family? How can I provide? So I have no value to you because you value being provided for? How can I protect you? Because I'm not out here protecting myself yet. I'm still at home. I haven't left the nest. So how do I know that you can nurture me? How do I know that you can be loving? You can help me with my emotional intelligence. The same way I can help you, you can help me. But how do I know that if I'm fighting against you the entire time to break through something that I didn't create? Something that I didn't create. And that's where healing comes through. But we'll talk about that in another video. Yeah, femininity. I don't believe a man brings it out. I believe either you're feminine or you're not, and you make a choice to be that way and continue to be that way. If you don't have trust in a man in order to be feminine, say that. That's something totally different. When you start using words like trust, like confidence, say those words to us. Say, instead of, oh, I'm looking for a man who can bring out my femininity. Say, I don't trust you as a man to be feminine. Ooh, now we have a conversation. Now we have something to talk about, because you're saying you don't trust me enough to be a woman. To me, I equate femininity with a woman. That's how I equate it. If you don't, sorry. So you don't trust me enough to be a woman. So what are you at any other time? What do you consider yourself if your femininity is not turned on? I like to get some answers back on that. Please, please enlighten me and let me know. It's a cop out. Having a man bring out your femininity is 100% cop out. And no one can convince me of anything else. This has been Felix Black. This is the Felix Black Show podcast. Please make sure you're following on all social media platforms, and I will see you guys in the next episode.